There are so many different top handles available on the market today, it can be a little bit overwhelming choosing between all of them. So we're gonna take a look at a few different top handles today. All of these are from SmallRig, and I'm gonna go over the pros and cons of each so you can decide which one is best for your own camera rig. Let's start with the cheapest top handle that SmallRig sells, and this one is only 20 bucks, and I'd say it's probably the most common. Now, I wasn't sent any of these top handles or paid by SmallRig to say any of this. I just love SmallRig products. They're so affordable and they're like little Legos. You can piece them all together and use them with all different camera rigs throughout the years as you upgrade. So anyways, there are a couple key features of this. First off, it is a bolt-on top handle. So how you mount this to your camera is with 2 1/4-20 threads. I'm gonna get this tightened onto the top here. So as you saw, it takes a minute to put that top handle on, and of course you have to have an Allen key with you. Now that's of course one of the downfalls of using a top handle that has to be screwed on like this. Let's say that you want to take this off really quick and pack it down into your backpack or Pelican case. Well, it's going to take you a minute to take this all apart. But that aside, this is a great top handle. Of course, it does the job. There's plenty of space for your hand to get a nice grip around it, and it's really solid and rigid. It doesn't shake, there's no give or anything like that in the top handle, so it does exactly what it's supposed to. Now, on this top handle, there are 1/4-20 and 3/4 inch threads all over it. It's basically a giant cheese plate. They're just covering the whole thing. And then on the front here, you have 3 1/4-20 threads so you can mount things to the front of the handle. And then on the top of the handle, we have a cold shoe mount. Now for me personally, I like to use external monitors every time I'm recording video. So let's say we want to mount this one, the Atomos Ninja V. Well, there's a couple different ways that I could mount this to the top handle. I could use one of the most common mounts, and that is a cold shoe mount with a 1/4-20 thread on the top. Now, this is just a basic one, and I can of course slide it right here on the top, tighten it into place, and then get the monitor on top. But here's the deal. I don't like this at all. Look how tall it is. I mean, that's like 6 inches off the camera. It's a strange center of gravity. It just looks really wobbly and wonky. I would never use that. I don't like that. And of course, there's always a risk when you're using a cold shoe that it could slide off of the cold shoe, just like that. I mean, I had it tightened down as far as it could go, but it's still just not enough. Well, a lot of you guys I know are a big fan of things like this and things like this, these different magic arms. Well, me personally, I just hate magic arms. I've never found one that is really tight and secure. They always end up spinning loose or starting to gradually fall over from gravity. So I just hate something like this, but I do want to show you that if you wanted to, you could use a magic arm here in the front of the handle. So if I was going to use a ball mount with this setup, I would definitely put it right here in front so that the monitor stays lower, it keeps that center of gravity down. But you can't really tilt it or anything like that. You have to unscrew it on the side here to make any adjustments to where your monitor is and the angle of it. And then I found, like I said, that if you just knock it, ooh, look at that. Definitely don't want to break it, yikes. So that's scary that it could just swing over like that and become unscrewed. And that was with me just applying a tiny bit of pressure. So I really hate ball mounts like this. They just don't work well for me. So if you want to mount a monitor to your top handle, I really don't think that this is the top handle you want to go with because there's not a good place to securely put it. So if you just need a top handle itself and you're not going to put a monitor on it, you just want something simple and basic, I think it's definitely worth the 20 bucks for this. Now let's take a look at our second top handle, and this is the NATO rail top handle. It's very similar to the first one. It actually has the exact same top handle portion here. So you're getting all of those different threadings around it. But this portion, of course, is different. You have the bolt on here, which takes a lot of time to take on and off. And then you have the NATO, which is universal and just really quick to take on and off of your rig. So this cage for my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K has a NATO rail built into it here on the top. So if I pull this out of my Pelican and I just want to throw it on, I can quickly do that in just a matter of a few seconds. I didn't have to use any tools and fumble around in my bag for an Allen key or anything like that. So it's so convenient to use NATO rail. And it's actually really solid too. I was worried that there would be some give in it, but there's not. This is just as solid as using a bolt-on one. There are actually a couple of 1/4-20 threads and a 3/8 thread right here on the front of the handle. And that's actually perfect for me because that's a great place to put a monitor mount. Now, I am a huge, huge fan and advocate of these SmallRig monitor mounts because they are just so solid. So I'm gonna use 2 1/4-20 threads and actually bolt this right to the front of the top handle here. Now, I love this look. It looks a lot like a red when you get it all set up because that red monitor sits directly on top of the camera. It's just an iconic look. And not only does it look great, but it's very, very practical. And I think a lot of people love it. All right, now let's put the monitor on the monitor mount here. So we'll just screw it into place. And then I'm gonna tighten this monitor mount down so that this hinge is nice and rigid. Now, what's awesome about this is I can tilt this wherever I want it. And I can let go and know that it's going to stay there. I don't have to loosen and tighten up a bunch of different ball head joints and knobs and things like that to get it where I want it. It just has enough friction to stay exactly where I place it. And that is absolutely a beautiful thing. So you don't have to worry about finagling with your monitor again. You just put it exactly where you want it. And look at that, it's beautiful. It allows you to look right down at the monitor, right in front of your handle, and it's a nice, low center of gravity. The monitor's not sticking up in space, flopping all over the place. It's a good, solid spot for it. And it packs down really nice too. So let's say that you have a good spot for this. Well, you can just quickly loosen this whole thing and just throw it into your bag. So like that, this is a nice little separate piece so that this can fit easily into a backpack and this can fit into another sleeve or something like that. And this one is $50 US right now on Amazon. Guys, before we go any further, take a look at this new shirt design. It's a ninja using a gimbal. How meta is that? Everyone always talks about doing the ninja walk with their glide cam or their gimbal. I mean, imagine a ninja using a gimbal. That's gotta be like the smoothest footage possible. So I made a shirt. If you like it, definitely check out the link in the description below. Moving on to the next top handle. This is definitely one of my favorites. It's so small, compact, and it's just a cute little top handle. Now, this one you can't buy on Amazon right now, but you can get it directly from SmallRig's website. And I will link to all of these parts in the description down below so you can easily find any of them if you want to pick one up. Now, this top handle was designed for smaller cameras like the Z Cam, but I find that it works fantastic with mirrorless cameras. Now, a couple of things that I love about it are these little grips on the bottom, which just fit perfectly into your fingers, and that's really nice. Now, it is a smaller top handle, so they just fit in there just barely, but let's get it onto the camera and then we'll keep diving into it further. Now, something cool about this is that there's an Allen key hidden in the side here, so you always have it on you and it doesn't get lost. The nice thing about it is it's magnetically kept in the handle. So let's get the 1/4-20 threads here. Now, something that I love about this is that it doesn't stick out a lot from the back of the camera. So you don't have to worry about it running into any other equipment or your face if you're getting close to the monitor or something like that. It's very low profile. And it doesn't stick up very high either. So again, it keeps the center of gravity nice and low. There are a handful of 1/4-20 threads and 3/8 threads on the top, so if you want to mount something else, you definitely can. But really one of my favorite features of this top handle is that there's an area locating thread and pin here in the front. So I'm gonna grab another monitor mount, and this one has an area locating pin on it. And I love that because it's so quick and easy to throw the monitor mount on there without the use of any tools. Boom, and just like that, we have a monitor right in front of the handle, and this is absolutely the most low profile and compact top handle and monitor mount setup that you can build from SmallRig. Now for me, there are a couple downsides of using this top handle, and the main one is that you do have to screw it on and off. But because it's so small and low profile, you can definitely fit this into a case and not have to take off the top handle. One other thing to know is that because the top handle is so small, there's not a lot of extra gripping room, and if you have really big hands, your hand could be coming off the back of the handle a little bit. And this top handle is available for $40 US on SmallRig's website. Now we're gonna look at one of my favorite all-around top handles from SmallRig, and that is this one with the NATO rail. It's fully adjustable and it has area locating pins in the front. This one is available on Amazon for about $50 US. This is one of the most popular top handles, and I see it on people's rigs all the time, and that's for good reason. First of all, it's so easy to quickly take on and off of your rig if you have NATO rail. Now, the NATO rail on this cage, of course, is permanently there. But let's say you have a camera cage that doesn't have a NATO rail on top, which is pretty common. Well, you're gonna need this little NATO rail piece, and you can pick this up from Amazon for about 10 bucks. So now let's get the handle on the cage. And just like that, it's ready to go. So much faster using NATO rail and not having to use any tools. So this top handle has a lot of cool features. First off, there's just a simple cold shoe mount here on the top, and then there's another cold shoe mount on the back. So you could use this cold shoe mount for all different things, like let's say you put a wireless lavalier receiver on the back, and that's just a nice convenient spot to put it. So the beautiful thing about this one is that there are those area locating pins, so it's really easy to get the monitor mount on. So let's do this now. I'm gonna grab this one again and just screw it right into the front here. So again, another beautiful setup, and I just love the way that this one looks and the way that this one works. And a cool feature of this one is that it also has a hideaway Allen key, which makes it, of course, really nice to do adjustments. So on the side of this handle, there are 2 1/4-20 threads, and you can loosen these up so that you can actually adjust where this top handle sits. So let's say that you don't like this top handle slid all the way back like this. You want it to hang more over your lens. Well, you can just slide it forward as much as you want. Or maybe you kind of like that 50-50 split. You can just put it right halfway over. This handle has a super solid build, just like the rest of the top handles, but I think this one is the most versatile because, of course, you can quickly throw the monitor on the front with those area locating pins, and there's even another area locating pin here on the side. You can adjust where this handle sits with the Allen key that comes with it, and then you have those cold shoe mounts on the back and on the top. So there's just so much versatility to this handle, and of course it feels really nice in the hand. So of course there are a ton of other top handles that SmallRig makes, but these are just a few of my favorites. In my opinion, the best top handles have a NATO rail and a place to put the monitor mount in the front. And guys, if you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe right now, because I have a ton more videos coming out in shooting, editing, lighting, camera rig builds, everything like that, and you don't want to miss it. All right, I'll see you in the next video.